telling you, dog. Real shit.
I want to have a conversation with somebody that said, I read this book last
Real
week.
fucking shit.
And
Tell me about it.
Let's
please.
dissect it. Let's
Yes.
break it down.
Yeah.
What did you like? What did you like?
Yeah, how did you interpret this?
Yes.
Has that ever happened to you? Dog, okay, so I read this and I remember something like this happening, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, have you seen an example? Bro, okay, so I seen this example of this somewhere in my life.
Yeah.
Da-da-da, or somewhere. Like, what do you think about this? Or I read something like this, but it contradicts another book that I read. Like, bro, if you not speaking the nature of reality to me, sorry.
Goodbye.
That's why for me.
Guess we're going to be single.
Right. Like, that's one thing I have accepted. Because just off of looks alone, you not.
No, you're
Looks
not.
gets you in the door, but what can you do after?
Looks or just have me looking at
It's
you.
like that whole thing with like
that's
the
it.
influencers. I'm not saying that influencers are uneducated. They're not smart.
Right.
But they're trying to coast through life
Right.
based off of
Right.
their image
Yeah.
externally. And they're, I
For
don't,
sure.
like, you know, like.
Spooky shit. Spooky
And
shit.
I think, tell me if this is true or not. But do guys get like fed up with the whole like external thing? Like, do they get tired of like, no, I'm like, it's like almost like that. Have you heard of the taxi cab theory?
No. Go ahead and explain.
So it comes from the show Sex and the City, and Miranda explains it. And it's basically about how like guys are like taxi cabs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so taxi cabs, when the light is on, that means they're working.
Mm-hmm.
They're running. When the light is off, they're not in use.
Gotcha.
But they still drive though.
Okay.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
Right? So the light
Autopilot.
they drive when the light is off, and they drive when the yellow light is on. Because if you think about when the yellow light is on, they're working. Somebody's gonna get in there
Right.
into the car, or they have somebody in there. But they still have to drive around with the light off to get to the right place so they can pick people up and have more.
Facts.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Facts.
That's how guys work in dating. It's like, okay, yeah, a guy can, be driving around looking with his light off, and he can think, and he can take you for a ride and think that he's still interested in you. But if his taxi light's
Right.
not on,
Right.
he's not gonna.
I'm not gonna.
He's not gonna-
Post nut
But here's
clarity.
the thing.
Post nut clarity?
I'm considerate.
That's such a fake thing.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's not a real fucking thing.
Post nut
Post-nut
clarity is not
a
real.
real fucking
Chat, drop it. Is post nut clarity real?
Am I real?
All right. Here's the thing. Me, I'm considerate. I'm not gonna waste your time. You know why? Because I'm wasting my time doing something. I
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
wanna
It's too
fucking
much
do.
work.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm wasting my time. I don't like wasting my time. So I'd rather not even like if you're not coming. I'm
Pause.
already at an age. Pause. I'm already at an age. If you're not coming
Pause.
correct or 90, not even 90. I'll give you 60% into knowing who you are. I don't want it. I don't want it because I understand the work it took to put in myself to understand who I am, the shit that I've gone through, and I understand the mental stress it takes to truly understand everything that I do and how it affects every single person in my life. And I'm not selfish in the decisions that I make because I know someone's going to get the short end of the stick, regardless if it's a net positive or not. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're not thinking at that level where you know everything you do affects everyone in your life and it affects the world, I don't want it because you're already too self-centered. You're too selfish to extend
The olive branch.
Right. You see what I'm saying? To really meet me and discuss and work through issues when a problem arises. Okay, let's get to the root of the problem. Let's stop being vindictive. If you have a vindictive bone in your body, if you practice schadenfreude, you find joy in people's misery. I don't want that.
Ew.
I don't fucking want that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I like peace.
And that's why
motherfuckers don't understand.
And that's
that.
why I said speak
I
in
like
generalities because you're
peace.
not normal.
Right. I like peace, bro.
Shit.
I would literally disappear for 6 months and then show up and then say hey to people like I just saw you yesterday.
Yeah, I feel it.
You see what I'm saying?
Because we're working.
Because we're working.
Yeah, we're
like,
working.
I respect
We're constantly
people.
improving
I respect
ourselves.
people's time. I respect what they bring. I respect the work they put in themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
I respect all the issues they went through, all the struggles they went through. It might be different than mine, but they dealt with it and they're still here. They didn't clock out. I got a lot of my niggas who clocked out early because it got fucking hard. And I've been in that position where it's like, damn, this is what you were thinking when you clocked out early. You know what I'm saying? So I respect niggas. First of all, if you can't see other people for what they are, human beings, they're the same person as you, there's nothing to be. There's no conversation to be had.
It's sad because we live in a society where like people are so easily disposable.
Right.
So that's
Yeah,
how
for sure.
we've just like that's how we've just.
That's the mentality. That's the mindset.
Spooky
so.
shit. That's why I'd rather just be cool with the 10 niggas I know on my hands.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Till I die.
Mm-hmm.
I can be single for the rest of my life because I can find happiness within myself and the people that I love, and not be dependent on someone validating my existence.
Back to the whole self-love thing.
You see what I'm saying? So that's just me. That's just me. I'm not gonna speak for everyone, but I've had time to think that deep.
Yeah.
I've had time to look within myself and be outside myself and be like, it's not just about me. I say, hey, Bruce, that affects a million different things. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's just that.
But again, the world's about me. What can you do for me?
Yeah.
Where can I go? What is in it?
It's
for
always,
me?
what can you do for me? It's like, no. You know what I'm saying? What can you share with me? What do you know? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, how does this person know about this thing I learned? Like when I meet someone, I want to share everything I know. You know what I'm saying?
And that's like, honestly, that's become something I've had to like learn not to do, is because I don't want to be so easily open with anybody, because you don't know what they're gonna do with that.
For sure.
You don't know where they're gonna take it.
Who gives a fuck what they do with it? I know who I am.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
know who I am. Who cares? They're 1 out of 8 billion.
You have to get to the point where you stop caring what other people
You
think.
need to, you don't need to do it now. It's a process.
Yeah, it is.
It's a process.
Yeah.
Trust me. I know. I used to be like, man, they know that. So who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
And everybody discovers it at different times. But
Right.
you just got to
Who gives
get
a
to,
fuck?
again, you got to get to the point where you
Right.
don't care what other people think, because
gives
you
a fuck?
already know who you are as a human
Right.
being.
You've known
again,
yourself for-
the 10 people on your hands that
Right.
you know, or 5 or whatever number it is, know who you are.
Right.
So it doesn't matter whatever
You've known
rumors
yourself for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna let someone else
dictate that.
dictate that?
Yeah.
You've literally lived with yourself the most out of anybody.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you start doubting yourself, then we got a problem.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then we got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
This person only known you for what, 10 years? They haven't known you for 20 plus.
You know? And my brother always says, if you're out of my life for 5 years, you don't know who I am.
You don't know who I am.
Yeah.
You don't know who I am. If you haven't talked to me within 5 years, I'm someone else.
Yep.
That's why, like, I've tried to, like, because I've moved so much, and I've really tried to keep
To reconnect
Yeah,
or
and I
stay
will
in touch. It's
stay
tough.
in touch. It is tough, but like I always try to, like, I have this one friend who, like, I will stay in touch, like texting her here and there, but like I always am like, oh, like, do you have time to like talk? We haven't talked in like 5 months, 6 months, a year, and so like we kind of do a little like reconnect.
I got you.
Real.
Yeah,
Just to
like,
see where you guys are at
yeah,
in life.
I mean, like,
But
we
I feel
catch
it.
even
up.
something like that, I like that though. But you have that understanding that, okay, we will be someone else. I'll be someone
next time we
different
meet.
The next time we meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll have experienced things. They might be more anxious. They might be more calm. They might have a different look on life. They might be in a different job. You see what I'm saying? Like, we don't afford people that malleability to be human. They have to be the vision we set for them. They have to be this thing that makes us happy. They have to fit the mold that we want them to be in.
But
Yeah.
see,
So
then
we
it's
can be
not
happy.
meant to be if you have
Spooky.
to fit somebody.
Yeah, that's how come when
It's
people are
their
like, that's why when
thing.
people are like, I know who you are, they're like, no,
Right.
you
No,
don't.
you don't.
No, you don't, because you're
Right.
not me.
It's like, even like the people who had like raised me, I'm like, you don't know.
You know?
Yeah.
You
And that's the
really
thing, especially if
don't
you've been
know
out the
me.
house. Yeah, because just because, yeah.
And like, it's like, now I'm looking at it now and I'm like, I don't even know you.
Right.
Like, you've
Like,
changed so much.
Even now, like, we're still getting to know our mom.
Yeah.
We're learning these things that we weren't consciously aware of
As
growing
kids,
up.
younger.
but like as adults, you're
As
like,
adults, like, wow, mom, you really did this. Wow, mom, you really worked 3 jobs and tried to pay the mortgage and send us to school. And we were just having fun.
We're kids.
Yay! Eating cereal every Saturday morning. Yay! Oh, mom, you didn't get presents this Christmas. Damn, I hate everything. And then now it's like,
We understand why.
but I have that
awareness.
self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can reflect. I can pull on lessons from the past. I don't just learn the lesson and then repeat the same mistake again.
Tae Young says,
You know what I'm
check phone.
saying? Like, it doesn't it's like when you see something happening, right? When you get that gut feeling, it doesn't have to happen the exact same way like every single time. But you can see patterns.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
know what I'm saying?
Like, because I've started to become more self-aware. I'm like, I have a pattern of this.
And that's the
You
thing.
start
It
noticing
takes.
habits,
Let's start
right?
breaking it.
Yeah.
Right.
So what I always used to tell people, and I've been telling him, and I told him this today too. I said, you gotta understand, when you don't realize what you're doing wrong, or if somebody never tells you what you're doing wrong, you're gonna keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I also said too that if you get mad at that person, but then you leave and you reflect on it, then you're gonna be like, oh, okay, I notice it now. So let me try to change what I am doing for the better of myself, because you might think it's a positive, but to everybody else it's a negative. You get what I'm saying? So things like that.
Smoke says potato gang. Let him cook gang.
I was gonna say, yeah. What's the chat saying?
Now you missed the part where they said you're lying.
They said I'm lying. They called me a liar. Oh my goodness, we way up there, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
No, it's very active. See what happens when you miss a day?
Bruh. Taeyong's says the key is this is when you're out in public. The key is not to make eye contact in public. Make eye contact on the way to my car. Ended up answering a 40 questionnaire about my future.
Oh man, that's wild.
Oh man. Snot says sounds like Lil Jeff is guilty. Absolutely. Smoke. Look here. You lucky if I'm up at that time. I'm old. I gotta work at 6 a.m. That's real, dog. We got sponsitilities. Ain't that what Tommy said?
Yeah.
Caleb says DWYSYWD. Do what you say you will do.
Hey, good shit.
I had a Jimmy Neutron that motherfucker.
Brain blast! Oh shit, we're fucking nerds.
I'm dead. Blasphemous says it's like every day. What you mean, Smoke? You ain't my age, sir. I'm old. No joke. Caleb says no joke. That's serious. Do what you say you will do. Blasphemous trash.
Okay.
Snot. Lil Jeff is lying. He said he doesn't read books no more. I read them all.
Allegedly.
I know all the words.
Allegedly.
I read the dictionary. I know every book ever.
Allegedly.
I don't need to read a book. I read the dictionary.
Yep.
I already know
it has
all the
every
words
word in the books.
Exactly. I've read every book technically. Smoke says they lying because they have a chick on here. Crazy work. They sold out already. Get out of here. Ain't no
Oh my
size. What you
God.
mean? I love women. What you
Yep.
mean?
Wait, who
I
said
love
that?
women. They smell good and they're soft. What?
Wait, who said that?
Smoke.
What? I love women. I'm sorry. You gonna hear it. You heard it here first.
Smoke. We
Sorry.
all know where that comment's coming from.
I love women.
Yeah.
A deep place of
What?
insecurity.
I love women. What?
Hell yeah.
Smoke says, all right, they all second to them. Yeah, they agree.